Hey, Stephen Cross here. We're going to do a how-to basic editing with Kdenlive. This is for the Drupal Recording Initiative. So the Drupal Recording Initiative, as they state on their project on Drupal.org, is to make the recording of Drupal and related talks at camps, summits, meetups, especially anything outside of DrupalCon, easy, turnkey, affordable, and available. And the project has been successful in accomplishing that. What that project does is it basically takes some simple recording devices, a screen recorder and a microphone, and it includes the steps you need to do to hook that equipment up to record sessions and talks at a Drupal camp or other kind of conference like that. What I'm going to cover today is after you've recorded a session at a camp, what are the things you can do to the video that comes out of this process to potentially improve it? Maybe trim it up a little bit, add some intros, a lower third, and really most important is improve the audio. And then templatize that so you can quickly modify the number of talks you have for an entire conference. So it doesn't take a whole lot of time to do 25 sessions. I chose Kdenlive to do this demonstration because, first of all, it's open source, it's free to use, and it runs on all the platforms that we use. And there's lots of resources available. I'm going to show you some really basic editing today. And if you like Kdenlive, I want to do something more advanced, you can find lots of information on YouTube to take this as far as you want. After you install Kdenlive and open it up for the first time, you're presented with this page here, the default screen, and might look a little daunting if you've never been into a video editor, but I'm going to explain these different sections. So the panel on the upper left here, you can control what shows up in there by these tabs. We're going to use two of these tabs. We're going to use the project bin, and we're going to use the effects. The project bin is where you drop your media that you're going to use for your project. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to take the output from the Drupal Recording Initiative and drop it in here. This is a conference session from NedCamp. So that's sitting in here now. You'll notice now I have something in the center pane. This pane allows me to view the contents of what's in the project bin. So if I click play on here right now,
this actually works. Okay.
Actually, click playing. I'm going to pause that. On the right-hand side is the player for the timeline. So this is the project that you're actually working on. So if I take this clip and I drag it down into my timeline, you'll now see that this player on the right-hand side is for playing the project itself.
This actually works. Okay.
So when I hit play here, you see the timeline here.
So I'm here.
So I'm going to stop that. Now, a few more things here. You'll notice in the timeline, and we'll spend a little bit of time here, I'm going to take this piece and slide it over. We don't need that right now. You can control any of these panes, how big they are, if you want to see them at all, if there's different panes you want to see, by using the menu at the top. This is basic editing. I'm not going to get into all the complexities of this interface and how to customize it. There's lots of videos that can help you here, but some things you can do that you'll need to do is you can grab a section to make the bottom bigger or smaller as you need to, which I will be doing a few times probably during this editing session. In the timeline, you'll see that each one of these is a track. A video file comes over as two tracks. So you'll see it's a video track and an audio track. If you drop an image into a track, that is just a video track. And we're going to do that in a few minutes. You can hide or mute a track by clicking the video on and off. You'll see in the upper right-hand side over here, the video is now muted or turned off. And if I still play it, you'll still hear it.
Today to talk about.
Or if I turn the video on and turn the audio off, mute it, this video now has no sound. We're not going to do a whole lot more than what I've just done here to do the editing for this project. The first thing that we want to learn how to do is trim. And trimming a video, and what I mean by this in this context here, is just taking some video off the beginning or the ending of the video, because sometimes when you're supposed to push this button to start the recording, the button gets pushed and then there could be a minute or 2 or 5 or 10 minutes before the session actually starts. You can easily remove that from the final video. And the same thing at the end of the video. If there's extra information that you don't want, you can get rid of it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And we'll notice that on this track, if I move it back to the beginning here, when I play it, there's some sound before the speaker says hello.
Make sure this actually works. Okay. Cool. Hi, everyone.
So that was about 5 seconds worth. And I can see that over here on this side here. It's at 5 seconds that happened. So I'd really love to trim that. Oh, there's no need to keep that there. The audio, you can tell as you get experience with this. I'm going to, if you look on the bottom right here, I'm going to zoom in to this so I can see this a little closer. And I'm going to back this up. And I can see the background noise in the room there. And then I can see right where he begins to talk.
Hi, everyone.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to hi, everyone. I'm going to click the scissors, and then I'm just going to click this and trim it. Then I'm going to right mouse, and I'm going to, nope, sorry, before I do that, I'm going to click the pointer again. And now click the pointer, and I'm going to select this section now, right mouse. And I'm going to, if I delete the selected item, it will remove that section, but leave the space there. And I'll do that here so you can see it. If I Control Z, it comes back. What I really would prefer to do is extract the clip, which now removes it and slides it back and removes the space that's left. So if I start the video from here, start the video again from here.
Hi, everyone. So I'm here.
There we go. I'm going to now go to the end of the video and do the same thing. I want to see if there's anything on the end I'd like to get rid of. So I'm going to slide to the end of the video. I'm just going to play it here and see what's left.
Our content. And that's it.
So I don't really need to trim anything from the backside. If you really wanted to shorten the video, you could come into these long pauses and get rid of them. For what we're trying to accomplish here, I don't think that there's any value to that. So I've finished my trimming. So now, let's look at adding an intro. So what I mean by an intro is before the presentation starts, I may want to have a slide or just a section of video that might have my conference logo or maybe thank the sponsors for the conference. So basically I want to stick an image at the beginning for a number of seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, however long. I'm going to show you how to do that now. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to insert the image that I want in the intro into my project bin. So I've already created this ahead of time. I'm going to come into add a clip, and that's the image I want. And I can see if I preview the clip here, that's just a image that has the camp logo in it. And I want to display that for like 10 seconds before, not 10 seconds, sorry, that's too long. Maybe 5 seconds before the presentation starts. So what I need to do is I'm going to stick this, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to create a new track below the video here. So I'm going to right click on here and insert track. And I'm going to insert just a video track, and I'm going to insert one track below or under, it says V1. So I want it to show up below here, and I'm going to hit OK. So now I have an empty track here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this video that we already have and slide it over. By the way, I can see right here, that's 2 minutes. That's 1 minute. This is 30 seconds. So somewhere I'll tighten that up in a few minutes. And I can tighten that up by zooming in. So that, whoops, let me jump back here. You'll get to get a feel for how I'm navigating through here as we go along. Keep jumping around. So here, I'm going to come back to the beginning here, and I'm going to grab this video clip and I'm going to stick it right in here. So my scale was wrong. So that the 3 seconds is right here. So I'm actually going to come way down to here, right around 3 seconds. 4 seconds is where I want this to happen. So what's going to happen here in the timeline, if I come back here and you look over here, this is what the timeline is playing. You're going to see this image for 3 seconds, and then it's going to display the video. Since the video is on top of the image, it's going to be hiding the image at this point. So let's go ahead and play this. And up here and play. So you watch up here.
Hi everyone. So I'm here today to talk about...
Now, I'm going to make this a bit smaller. So that wasn't a great transition, the jump. What I'd like to do is I'd like to have it a transition so it kind of wipes in. That's built into here. And it's the reason why I dropped this image below this video. If I just come in here and click this purple right here, so you can see, boom, it creates a wipe. So now, when I watch this now, you'll see up in the right corner, I'm going to make this bigger. This is what's going to play here from the timeline.
Hi everyone.
You see that it has a transition. So that's a smoother way.
Hi everyone.
A very small touch, but nice to have. Now, let's look at the next thing I'd like to change. I'd like to add a lower third. And the term lower third, it's probably something you're familiar with. It's a lower section of the video where often it will be like the speaker's name and their title, maybe the conference logo or a company logo. You can put anything in that lower section of the video. I'm going to show you how to create one of those in Kden. I'm going to keep it simple for this example, but you can make them as fancy as you'd like. So I'm going to come back to here again. And what I'm going to do for our example is I'm just going to put a sponsor logo into the slide that basically says, hey, you know, video sponsored by with a company logo. So I'm going to come in first into my media bin, and I'm going to add the logo for the sponsor. And this is my company logo. It's actually not a sponsor of this event. This is just an example. So I've now got in the project bin, I've got the logo. I haven't placed it anywhere yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a title clip here. And a title clip is a clip that you can design on your own that you can overlay onto the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this title clip and I'm going to put into it the logo. Actually, I didn't need to drop it into the project bin because I'm going to reload it. I'm going to actually load it from here. So it didn't actually need to be in the project bin. So I'm going to take this logo and I'm going to make it smaller. And this is, you scroll through this. You can't grab the corners to do it, but this works fine. I'm just going to do this here, and I'm going to put some text that says video sponsor. Sponsored by, and let's make this right aligned, and let's make this smaller. Let's also change the letters to tighten them up, the line height, and I'm going to put this, when I'm done, I'm going to move this down to here. So this says video sponsored by, I spelled that wrong. If you know me, it's very common as usual. I'm just going to leave it for now. So now I've got a title slide. Just like I did with the image before, I can drop it into the timeline. So I'm going to take my title clip and I'm going to place it down here. And now you'll see it show up in the video.
So I'm here today.
And I'm going to mute this audio while we're working so I don't have to hear it. So now you see the title clip down here. You can make this fancier. Like one improvement could be, I think the slides are going to get white at some point. Let me just look down here. See, now you can't see that anymore. So one thing I could do is put a background behind it so you could see it, because right now it's white on white. So let me go ahead and do that. Or is it because it's not being shown? That's why it's not being shown. Let me slide this way down to here. So as you see, the clip will only show as far as you have it stretched into the timeline. So I'm moving down the timeline to the point that the video is white. There we go. It's white on white, and I know the title clip is being displayed. So I'm going to come back in and edit it, and I'm going to right click on it, choose edit clip, and I'm going to drop a background behind it. So up here, I'm going to add a rectangle like this. I'm going to drop this here. I want to place it below, so I'm going to drop it down and say send it to back. And you can see that it has an opacity on it. I guess from the last time I used this, if I click on here, I can see the opacity setting here. So I'll leave it right where it is. And now I'm going to save this, update the title. If I come back in now, I can see that. So you get a sense of how you could create a lower third. I do want to reemphasize one point here is that the video clip will only show as long as it's in the timeline. So you need to take this and move it right to the end of the video. And often the easiest way to do that is to use this to magnify out and then grab this and take it to the end. And it will snap to the end of the video. Now I know the title clip will be there the whole time. All right. So the next thing I want to show you is the pop-up. So let's say you wanted to, right here, we're having sponsored by video show up in the lower third. Maybe you don't want that on the screen the whole time, but you do want to promote the video sponsor. So let's say you want to have what I call a pop-up. So you want to have something show up on the screen for maybe 10 seconds at the beginning of the presentation and then go away. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to copy this title clip. I'm going to duplicate by duplicating it, and I'm going to come in and edit it, edit the clip. So now I'm just going to take this guy and move this up to here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to take him, move him up, make him bigger. This, take the text, move this up, modify it. And make it larger. Now I have a new clip. I want to save this clip. And let me get rid of, or I could keep this clip. Let me add another title slide here, another track, sorry. I'm going to insert another video track, video only, track above number 3. So I'm going to move it to the top. Now I have an empty spot to put it in. I want to move back to the beginning of my video. Make this a little larger. So I can say like maybe, 10 seconds in, I want to drop this new slide in. Like this. So it will appear for this amount of time and then disappear. So let's watch it. Up in the right-hand corner, as I'm playing it, you'll see that appear and then disappear. And hopefully that's timed in a way that it's, when the person's introducing themselves. As you can see, the presentation is still on the intro slide, so it's really not going to get in the way. But I don't really like the way it just kind of bounced in and bounced out quickly. So you can do a transition again. Here, the transition is something you can grab from the side to fade in and then fade out this way, like this. So now if I watch it again, you'll see it kind of fade in and then fade out. If I play the audio with this again, you'll see that it doesn't really interrupt. We turn my audio back on, doesn't really interrupt the presentation at all.
Using your Drupal content. Do you guys hear me okay? Okay, it's not bad.
And you can make this clip as long as you want. If you want it to be a longer time that it's up, you could duplicate it and paste it in another place in the timeline. So if you want to see it here, and then you want to like present it again towards the end, you could do that as well. Drop it in here, paste, then it would show up in
Here our content for easy readability. Want to use.
All right. So that's what we've gotten so far. The last thing that I want to show you in terms of improving the video potentially is cleaning up the audio. And this really, if you did anything to the video at all, this is the only thing you should do. If you don't want to spend time doing anything else. And I could understand, I mean, these are minor improvements to the video. This one is going to be potentially a major improvement to the video. And let me mute this again, or just let me play it right from here. What we're going to do is we're going to turn on an effect in Kdenlive. I think it's called voice. We'll have to look at the name of it. I don't know if it's voice isolation or suppression or something. Let's go in and look at it and see how it works. So right now, when I play this again,
included, all the better. And this is just an example of what that.
This session is actually recorded pretty well. At the beginning of the video, you can hear the room noise. Go back to the very beginning and play this from the start. I got some gaps in here I can see.
Hi, everyone. So I'm here today to talk about optimizing your Drupal content. Do you guys hear me okay? Okay.
So you hear the room noise, you hear some muffling around. This is because there's a Zoom recorder sitting on the table that's picking up a lot of the room noise, but you can use a feature here to just get rid of it. And it works fairly well. And it's super easy to do. So if I come into the effects section and then I filter on sound effects at the top, you'll see here that there's noise reduction and audio restoration. This is a noise suppressor. That's what it's called for voice. I'm just going to take that and grab it onto the audio, drag it down there. So my audio is this track here, down here on the bottom, right there. So I'm going to grab here and just drop it on there. Now let's listen again.
Do you guys hear me okay? Okay, it's not bad. Okay. Yes, we're going to be talking about optimizing your Drupal content strategy for AI-powered search. Like Mike said, this is obviously a very timely topic.
So as you can see, basically the background noise has been removed. You can modify how this noise suppressor works. When you click on it, on the right-hand side, you'll see some controls here. So you can adjust this a bit to work for the audio in the session. I found that usually default settings work good enough for what I'm trying to accomplish. And the reason that I think this is important is that a lot of people will listen to these sessions with headphones on or in their car while they're driving. They're not really watching the video, but they're listening. And if you have headphones on, that background noise that comes from these conference videos can be a bit distracting and a bit annoying over time. So removing that noise as much as you can, I think, creates a better product in the end. So that's the piece I'd recommend doing at a minimum, if you could. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is just how to, got a couple more things. Render. How do you render this in Kden since you've never used it before? Once you're done modifying this project to the way you want, it's very simple. You come up to the project section. Let me switch to that screen so you can see it. Come up to the project section, select render, give your project a file name, and hit render to file. For one of these videos from a conference, it takes about 5 minutes to render a 45-minute, 50-minute presentation. So you render, take the default settings, MP4 file, and that's the file you upload to YouTube. Now, once you've got this set up for the first session of your conference, what you really want to do is be able to do this over and over again and not have to go through all these steps. And once you've kind of got your lower third set up and your intro slide, it's pretty easy to use this over and over again. All right, so we have our project here. What I'm going to do is basically come back to the project timeline. I'm going to remove the current session video. So I still have my other sections in here, right? We still have the lower third. We have the promotion that pops in, and we have the intro slide. So I'm going to remove this from the bin. I could leave it there, but it's going to be in my way. So I'm going to also remove this from the project bin. From here, and I'm now going to add a new session in. I come to clips, and I'm going to grab this one here. It's going to ask me to transcode it to adjust the audio. So I've done that. Now I'm going to drag him back into the spot that the other session video was in before, which was right here. So now I've got that video in here. And I'm going to zoom in a bit to make sure I adjust it to the right spot the other one was at. So it's right there. It lines up here. If I come back to the player, and I'm going to play it.
Welcome.
So the transition is there again. Let me just watch that one more time.
Welcome.
Good. That's fine. So that worked great. The lower third is there. The pop-up video is here. The only other thing I need to do is if I wanted to trim this video, like we did the other one at the beginning, I could still trim it. I can cut pieces out of it and move it around. And then I just need to apply the audio. So I come back to the noise suppressor for voice, drop it back on there, and I'm ready to go.
Happy to be here to kick off that camp. For me, this is my first Drupal camp.
That's kind of it. So I hope this helps you out a little bit. If you're trying to do some of these edits to some of your Drupal camp videos, you can find me on Drupal.org at Stephen Cross, on Drupal Slack at Stephen Cross. Also, TalkingDrupal.com is a podcast I'm involved with. And this video is being produced by Second Signal Media. So come check out what I've got going on there. Thanks.